Hey folks, welcome to the premiere episode of Why I Like. I mentioned it in an earlier video that this is a series I'm planning to do where I talk about things that I like that generally aren't the most popular things. Usually they actually have a lot of hate against them, and I give my opinion of why I like it, and maybe it'll change your opinion, maybe it won't, but hopefully you'll see why I do like that thing. Now, this episode has the distinction of also tying into the Cobra Convergence event going on this month in the G.I. Joe YouTuber community, headed by Hooded Cobra Commander 788. I'd always planned to do the first episode of this series centered on Battle Armor Cobra Commander, mostly because of Hooded Coco's review of that figure, and I figured, why not throw my hat into the ring for this? But it is Cobra Convergence, and I should be wearing something blue. I got it. Hey, there we go. Is the hat too much? Yeah, the hat's too much. So, let's talk about this Battle Armor Cobra Commander. The reason I like him primarily is because he was the first Cobra Commander figure I got. I was born in 1981, so I was way too young to really appreciate G.I. Joe when it first started. I didn't get that first Cobra Commander, and there wasn't another one until the one in 1986. A lot of stuff happened for Hasbro in 1986. But I got it, and I really loved it. To me, that was Cobra Commander. That was my Cobra Commander, so I have a lot of nostalgic feelings for it. And I've continued... Oh, man, this mask's moving. Alright. How does he see out of this? I guess he has bigger holes. Anyway, I really enjoy the aesthetic of the figure, too. And to show you why, let's take a look at the figure. And here we have, well, an assortment of Battle Armor Cobra Commander. Now, none of these are my actual figure from childhood. That figure has long since gone. This figure was the reissue of it from about 2002 when they did the Real American Hero line. It is a two-pack series they did reissuing old molds. This one is also, get in frame, a reissue of one they put out in 1997. Because if you look at it, this piece comes off, which I've never understood why they decided to make this a separate piece. I lost this piece quite a while ago when I had the original one, like almost immediately, and I thought I'd lost this, but I found it in the bottom of the box. But it doesn't have what's supposed to be here, which is a peg to peg in. Let me get in frame. Oh. As you can see, there's a tiny hole here. It is supposed to peg on the side. They had released this figure back in 1997 as a Toys R Us exclusive with 3-packs with him and Baroness, and they painted them all blue to look more like traditional Cobra Commander, which again says to me, this is Cobra Commander. And for some reason, they decided not to include this, probably because people lost it, and then they reissued this one in 2001. And they used that mold, and so this tube, which is already precarious enough, as you can see, it's hard to get back in. It has to just dangle on the side, which makes it hard to turn his head. If you turn it the wrong way, you're going to knock the tube off. So, if you have this figure, I hope you've kept this tube. But like I said, back in 1986, I got this guy first. I was too young to have this guy. I had friends who had this guy, but I never had him. In fact, this one, I got 15 years ago. It's whenever Big Bad Toy Store was still selling used figures, so a while ago. But the common criticism I hear about this figure is a lot of people just can't see it as this character. Like, they can't see this one, this guy, and this armor. It doesn't feel like Cobra Commander is what I've heard a lot, but I've never understood that, because yeah, to me, I see them side by side, and it looks like this guy would put on this armor. It just feels right, because in the cartoon he's portrayed as kind of a coward, and so I can see at some point he'd want armor to protect himself, because he did go into battle with his troops a lot, I'll give him that. And plus, I really liked the way they had... Oh, no, I fell. But I really like the way they had the eyepieces here while still having the helmet. It was like a perfect marriage of the two most iconic looks of Cobra Commander. The faceplate and the hood with the eye holes that I don't have either, and I didn't bring my 25th anniversary one up because I'm an idiot. Also, I'd like to point out that this gun, while the original that came with this gun originally came with the 1986 version, did not come with this version. He came with an Uzi. This gun is from Snow Serpent from 2003, when they started doing G.I. Joe vs. Cobra. I completely forgot about that, so I looked it up on yojo.com, but I figured, well, that's the gun he came with, and it fits this color scheme for this one. Now, the original figure did look more like this. This is the perfect color scheme, which, again, I think works. So we have the silver helmet, silver faceplate, and eye holes. Although, I'll be honest, I do prefer the more muted colors over the bright colors of the original figure that this is based on. Now, the main thing people go to with this armor is this dude right here. He's based on the comics. As you can tell, they redid the helmet a bit, which I never cared for. But you can take the helmet off, and he's Fred 7, a Crimson Guardsman in the Fred line, which all had plastic surgery to look like the same guy. There is a storyline in the comics. Oh no! I'm professional. I'm super professional, guys. This will totally be edited out if I feel like it. Anyway. This comic story, right here, right there. My friend had that comic. I read it. That was the debut of this armor. And it was, in fact, Cobra Commander who wore it. It was Fred 7 who gave him the armor. Right there. And there was this big, huge deal about it, about what it could do. Like, big, huge spread about all the... It was bulletproof and had strength and agility and a readout. It was basically Iron Man armor. They basically made Cobra Commander Iron Man. And as someone who likes robots, yep, I was all for that. But eventually, at that point in the comic, Cobra Commander was also trying to get his son Billy back, and he thought, oh, I've had enough, I'm going to resign, I'm going to stop being head of Cobra, I want to go live with my son, which is really good character development for him, actually, and is a really, really good story. Fred here was like, no, screw you, I changed my appearance for you, I'm gonna shoot you in the back. Literally, buried him and said, the best thing about this armor is it could be anyone underneath. So he became, oh, this is so, Cobra Commander for a while in the comics. And that is why most people associate it with Fred 7. This armor is for Fred 7, not actually Cobra Commander. But he was Cobra Commander, so I guess it still kind of fits. But again, to me, like, that's a cool side story, and I like the idea, but I can't disassociate this armor from Cobra Commander. Even the 25th anniversary of it, version of it, has Cobra Commander, and they still have the removable helmet. This is Beachhead's head, by the way, which I find hilarious. But I still see this as Cobra Commander, and I think part of why people don't like to associate with Cobra Commander, aside from the excellent story in the comics, is, as you can see here, it was used primarily in the oft-maligned Deke series. And, yeah, that one I can't defend that much. I mean, you saw how I had in the comic. What they did all in the comics and how awesome it is. This is how they did in the cartoon.
Cobra Commander, I found this in my hovercraft.
One of my uniforms!
Yeah! Just a suit he happened to have lying around in the random water moccasin. So I guess in case he got transformed back from a snake to a man snake thing. And I love how it's folded up, which I guess kinda works since you can see folds here and there. There are creases like he's wearing it. But it's called battle armor, so I guess only this part is armored and the rest is just clothes? Oh, stop doing that. Even the upgraded version has little creases in there, and while it the chest signet stops there, which I feel this was originally designed to be like a zipper? I don't know. But yeah, it looks still like armor, but no, the Deke series, it was handled just like basically one of his uniforms, like they said. In fact, I believe there's a moment where he's like cooking something and he's tasting it through the mask there? The helmet? I don't know how that works. That's weird, but that's Deke in the nutshell. So, because it's that, I think there's some correlation, like, oh, this is the really bad Cobra Commander, we don't want it to be associated with even the Sunbow version, which was entertaining, even if he wasn't the guy in the comics. So, I don't know, but to me, this is always going to be Cobra Commander, and I really do enjoy this figure. I love all the little, his Cobra belt buckle there, Cobra belt buckle there, this pattern, the backpack, which, when I originally got it, they had this pattern here, and it's on this, too. I don't think it's on this. No, yeah, it's raised up there. So, it is a thing, but until I got this figure, and they showed it, how the backpacks work, like, it is, if you look at it, it is creased to fit his back. But when I was a child, because they have this pattern here, and there are these things on this thing, I always thought it went like this. And then I got that, like, oh, it goes like that. I guess that makes much more sense. But I guess there's also no real wrong way to wear it, since it didn't show up in the comics, and it's not really like a backpack. I believe it is just a ventilation system to keep him cool and keep systems running. So, I don't know. I've also, as much trouble as this hose has given me, I have never understood what it's for. What is this for? Anyone have any ideas? I will say, as much as I dislike the redesign of the helmet from the comics, just the visor just bugs me. This figure, I like that they molded the hose into it so you won't lose it. Again, never understood why this had to be a separate piece. I guess I'll probably never know. So then, that is why I like this figure. So there you go. That is why I like Battle Armor Cobra Commander. I hope I've made my position a little clearer through that rambling video. It's just a combination of nostalgia, personal headcanon, I suppose, and personal aesthetics. Now, I did see in the General Joe's Dino Stories that he used it actually as battle armor. Like, Cobra Commander would have the normal military-style uniform he had and base, and then when you go into battle, he would wear that. That works too. Maybe it's not a thing he wears all the time. Maybe it is just a thing he wears into battle. So you could do it that way. And if you do want to be Fred 7, that's fine too. I'm not going to change people's opinion on that, because that was a really good storyline, and can also come back to where Fred finds the armor and wears it himself. I don't know. But that's just how I feel about it. And that is also the first episode of Why I Like. The format is going to change depending on what I review. If I do more toys, I'm going to have to make sure I figure it out how to film them properly. It's been a while. I won't always be wearing this mask, much to some people's chagrin, I'm sure. You'll have to look at my ugly mug. But it'll just be me talking about things that I like, why I like them, and hope you'll understand. Don't know how regular they'll be. Mask keeps falling. There we go. And, I guess I'll see you around when I see you around. Bye.